Welcome to the Changemakers Podcast with your hosts, Jim and Larry. Jim and Larry will share the stories of everyday people doing extraordinary things to improve their communities, help the people in them, and make the world a better place.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Larry. I am on the road heading to Indianapolis, and I'm excited to get this chance to talk with you about our Changemaker this week.
Me too. She is just an amazing young woman, like not only from the interview, but I've had the opportunity to speak to her beyond the interview, and some of the things she's doing and her passion are so refreshing.
Yeah, it's really neat to see someone that has taken what they love to do and made it what they do for a living, and then she continues to go above and beyond. That was what, I actually sat down and talked with her for this particular interview, and it was really a great energy coming from Darlyshia. You could feel it the minute she pops up on the screen, for those of you that are having a chance to watch it. But for those of you that are listening to the podcast, though, I will tell you, it's something you can feel the second you hear her talk. It's really pretty cool.
It is. Yeah. And like I really like, so many of the things that she's doing. And I encourage everybody to go to her website because she has blogs on it and she's got lots of resources for women that are really, building their dreams and finding their passion and just some great stuff.
Yeah, so Larry, before we get into Darlyshia's specifics, for those that are maybe tuning in, this is only episode 2 of the Changemakers podcast. So maybe people don't know what Changemakers is or was or what it's about. Do you want to take just a quick minute and share what Changemakers is?
Sure. Changemakers is something that Jim and I, the Jim and Larry team, decided to host, and it benefits ReVitalize, which is a nonprofit that we sit on the board for. And ReVitalize is about telling the stories of people doing good. And Changemakers in particular are stories of 45 changemakers from around the world, and they're designed to inspire people to take action in their community. And these people that we highlight are really just, quote unquote, average people or ordinary people doing extraordinary things. They don't have a lot of money. In most cases, they don't have a lot of resources, but they are taking their passion and they're taking the desire to build a better neighborhood or a better community and then taking action on that. So that's what the stories are about. And at a time in our world when there seems to be more going wrong than ever before, it's really refreshing and inspiring to listen to these amazing change makers.
Yeah, Larry, I couldn't have stated it any better. The one thing I do want to add, though, is these are stories that would otherwise remain untold. And that was really important for us.
Right.
It's the same reason we support ReVitalize. We volunteer our time. We sit on their board. The United Way is a phenomenal organization. The Salvation Army is a phenomenal organization. They have thousands of volunteers and millions of dollars pouring in to help support their cause. But ReVitalize is a small nonprofit that does something different than any other nonprofit that I've seen. They don't have a traditional programming set. They actually their programming is supporting and benefiting and teaching and training and working with the change makers. And there's really not another nonprofit like it. So I'm really excited that we chose them. And
me too.
The change makers for me has been a really monumental, life-shifting event to host. It's kind of humbling to see what all of these people do. Some of them with more means, some with less means, but all of them with incredible desires and unrelenting passion for what they're doing.
For sure.
So I guess without any further ado, we're going to play the interview that I had with Darlyshia Menzie, and make sure you stay to the end and hear how you can get in touch with Darlyshia and hear how you can connect with me and Larry, Jim and Larry, the Jim and Larry team, and some of the other initiatives that we have going. So,
Great.
Larry, I'll let you send us away.
All right, here you go, Darlyshia.
All right, we are back with Changemakers, and I'm not going to even attempt to mess this up. Actually, I am. Is it Darlyshia?
Yes, it is. You did.
And you never said your name. I just have always had it in writing, and I said hello when we got online. So I did good. Darlyshia Menzie
yes.
is our guest here, one of our 2021 Changemakers. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
So we've got an audience from all over the world, literally, if we do this right. And they're gonna be watching, and they're gonna have no idea who you are and what you do. So if you wouldn't mind, take 30 seconds and share a little bit about your background, who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Yes. Hey, everybody. I'm Darlyshia Menzie, the CEO and owner of Fervent Servant. I help people to get excited about their lives. So Fervent Servant is all about living with intention and serving with passion. I am from Illinois. I currently reside here in Missouri, and I love, love, love to help people to figure out what life is all about and to love the life that they live.
That is, I mean, and that's a chore in and of itself.
Okay, now.
So you were actually nominated, and I got your name from one person and then got a second from someone else. So it was pretty cool. But you were nominated for your work specifically with women and helping to empower women. So if you could share a little bit about what you do, what you're doing to impact the community, and what inspired you to do it.
I love it. Thank you so much. So I love to get in front of women and girls, entrepreneurs, leaders, mothers. It really doesn't matter. People who feel like maybe they've lost a little bit of hope, or they've been overlooked, or they're not seen or valued or heard or understood. Those who have a dream and a goal in their heart, and they're ready to put it in their hands and put it in their feet. I'm that person that gets to connect with them and speak right into their life and help them to really just take that next step. So I author books for women to really get into their mind and help them to know that they're worthy of good things, help them to know that there's something that they can contribute to this world, help them to know that there is more for them. I love starting with young girls and then working my way up. For those women who are in businesses, who are entrepreneurs, to not just see themselves as businesses or as moms or as wives or whatever, but to see themselves as women first and let that contribute to every role that they play and that they serve in. And then I host a weekly spiritual training academy for women who are looking to really develop in their spiritual life. And so teaching them how to really apply the word of God and how to really own their power, own their voice, and own their choices. And so that's the way that I mostly get to contribute to the community around me. And I absolutely love it.
That is fantastic. And so with what you're doing, a lot of people may say, well, that's your business, but you're active in a lot of networking groups, and you go out and you help to empower women in your community outside of your practice. And I think that's what makes people change makers, is you can love what you do and you can do it really well. But when you go above and beyond and you're out there impacting, volunteering your time and your resources to help, I think that's just amazing. Do you have any particular success stories, or any, maybe the struggles might be better from your perspective of what you've gone through, just trying to chase your dream and get there?
Yeah, there's plenty of both, honestly. I would say one of the greatest struggles that I've experienced is understanding that I really have something that people want and that people need. I was one who really dealt with looking to the left and to the right, comparing myself to everybody else around me, to where I never really focused on what I could contribute. And so there was always like this dissatisfaction that was just living inside of me, and there's insecurities that rose to the surface, and it really stifled my progression, being able to move forward. And so even thinking about why do I do what I do? Why do I get out in the community? Why do I love women so much? It's because we all have something to offer. And so the struggle that I've overcome, that I don't want you to have to deal with, is to know that you have something to offer. It doesn't matter if it looks like the market is oversaturated. It doesn't matter if somebody does what it looks like it's just like you. It's never going to be just like you, because they're not delivering it how you would deliver it. And so if I can help you in that area, don't struggle where I struggle. Just know that there's a place for you. And then many successes is that whatever you produce, know that it's something that's coming from your heart. Like every time I wrote a book, created a resource, did a video, anytime that I created a course or a class, I'm like, what? How is this even possible? Because I didn't go to school for this. This wasn't something that, I degreed my way into. This was just something that was burning on the inside of me. And so if I can offer another word of encouragement for you, there's something burning on the inside of you. There's a fervor that's on the inside of you that the world needs. Somebody needs you. And so celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins and learn from every experience that you have, whether it's pleasurable or unpleasurable. You can take something away from that for sure.
That's amazing. And I love the way you delivered that. No pun intended, no play on words. But it really was. It seemed genuine and authentic. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how would they find you?
Yeah, so my website is darlyshiamenzie.com. Anything and everything that is attached to me, you will find it there. And that's just darlyshiamenzie.com.
And for those of you that are watching the screen, her name is right there. So you should be able to find it. But okay. And the last piece of advice I'd like to get from you is for those that may see you and feel inspired to do something. Maybe they feel compelled to help other women, or maybe they feel compelled to help other men, depending upon their circumstance and situation. But they say, you know what, I don't have the time that you have, or I don't have the drive right now that you have, but I really want to do something. How would you advise them to get started doing something?
I would advise you to figure out why you want to do what it is that you want to do. And once you figure that out, there's going to be nothing that gets in your way. Value every moment that you have. I was still working a full-time job before I ever started what it is that I have going on now. And now I have the pleasure of being able to do it full-time. But there was nothing that got in my way because I knew why I was doing it. I wanted to become what I needed. I wanted to become who I needed. And so my encouragement to you is to get started. It doesn't matter the amount of money you have, the amount of exposure you have, whether you have a platform or not. I had none of those things, honestly. I just jumped on what was available to me using the resources that I had, free social media, and I just started doing it. And I perfected it from there, and I'm getting better, and I continue to develop and grow from there. And I connected with others, who are doing what I want to do and who do what I do. And then those who want to do what I'm doing, connect with all of those spheres and continue to perfect your craft.
That's great and amazing. So thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations on being the first ever class of Changemakers that we have released. So
much.
I'm going to send it back to my co-host, Larry Cohn. Larry, take us away.
If you like this podcast, make sure you subscribe and follow Jim and Larry on all social media at Jim and Larry Team, or visit the website at www.thejimandlarryteam.com. This has been the Changemakers Podcast. For more episodes or to connect with our Changemakers, visit thepodcastforchangemakers.com. And don't forget to connect with us and use the hashtag the Changemakers Podcast everywhere.